not tell you a difference between this React fragment and React and the direct empty fragment that we are creating. So you see these fragments. Okay, we need to create this. Use this React fragment. Okay, so I will just create this. Okay. Mm, yeah, let's. And we have age is 21. All right. So we can just duplicate it many times. I guess I did it too many times. Okay. Now while you're doing this, mm, let's remove the header. Okay. And now what we'll do is we will say const argument. So sorry, array. So I will just put in this one over here, and I will say array dot map. All right. Then we'll say each person. Okay. So it will just take one object from the array and we'll iterate over it. All right. Now you see these empty brackets are fine over here, but uh, I can do the same. Mm, I can say h1 the name is, and then you can say person dot name. All right. Mm, let's just change it to an h3. Okay, and this guy will be an h5, and the age is person dot age. Okay. Okay. Uh, yeah. Okay. We need to start our server again. I accidentally closed my VS Code. That is why we are getting this error. So now it does render it out. Okay. But if you go to the console now, it uses a warning. Each child is a list. Okay. And as your application scales up, this warning will lead to an error of your data being not rendered properly. This is why we need to specify a key. Okay, so that is where our react dot fragment comes, and you can say key equals to anything like person dot name. Now it should be unique, and in here we don't have anything that is unique. All right, everything is the same. So I will just pass in the index over here, so at the last, and I will say idx. Now it should not give me this error. Yeah, no matter what I do, I cleared the logs, and if we refresh, it does not give us the error. Yeah, it does give me the warning that header is defined but never used. That is because I have defined it. The problem with using a header, now it is a very small file just of one line returning something. Say that it is a very big stuff and causes lags in your program. At that point, this warning will also become an issue. Okay. Chalo. So this is how your React fragment works and why we use it. Make sure that you always go to this part and check out what is going on in here. Okay. So now you cannot see this. I could have done something like instead of saying React fragment, you can also say anything like div and all. It is fine. But let's say that you need to do this, and like this you have to do something. All right. Um, then and you can't use a div over here because it is breaking your design, and you don't want to add a useless div. like Elementor websites and all, na, they have like infinite numbers of divs and all that. They are, even though created by drag and drop, but they're very very less optimized. Okay, so we now get our divs properly, but yeah, I don't want to do that. So what we'll do is, let's just go back to our React fragment part. Chalo. So this is far better. I know that the data over here is not wrapped properly, but yeah, just to give you a fair idea of what is React fragment, because this is a very underlooked part of React, and as well as very helpful. Chalo. So these are just basic stuff. Now I can go ahead with routing, but I would like to show you guys some hooks. Okay, so let's just go with our first hook, that will be the use state hook. Now you see the extension that we used right now, this one, it gives us many other things as well. So just by typing use state, okay, it gives me the entire structure of my use state. Okay, and I can say state count. Okay, so we'll create a basic counter over here, and we will say this, and let's remove this guy as well. We will say the count is, and we will pass in our count. All right, save it, and it says use state is not defined, so we need to import it, and let's save it. Yeah, now it says the count is 0 for us, and yeah, it is true. We need to work with this count. That is what React is for, interacting with your user, making the website interactive. So what we can do is, uh, let's create a button. Okay, it does not have to be a button also. You can just say div on click equals to uh, count plus plus. Now I do expect this guy to throw an error. Okay, yeah, it still says use state is not defined. Yeah, yeah, you see it says assignment to a constant variable. You see, you cannot mutate anything directly. You have this. Okay, you have this as well. So we use the set count. Okay, so now I can say inside my brackets over here, I will say set count. All right, and similarly we need to pass this guy in. Okay, and we can now, okay, it still says assignment to a constant variable. Well, you see, whenever you're working with React, you cannot use a value that is being passed by reference. You always need to update the value. Okay, and by logic also, count plus plus means that increment the count by one and then store that count in this variable itself. So even though you are trying to do count plus one, okay, it won't allow you to do this. You are trying to do something like count equals to count plus one. Now this is known as mutating an object. Okay, and this is not a very good practice for our this code and security and all. I don't know all that, but it is not a good practice for developers as well. And React always starts referring to value. So for now, count is being referred to as count, but with an incremented value. This is not a new variable. For this, you need to create a new guy. So you will say count plus one and count minus one. Okay. So instead of saying count plus plus, you can just say count plus one and minus one, and it should work. Yeah, you see it. You can sub it. You can add it as well. All right. Let's change it from a div to button. Definitely it does not look good. uh, Button, and let's come over here, button as well. So now it is looking far more better. So this is your use state hook, and this is the main use of it is to use value that will be changing. Okay, you don't want to use let or the var inside your React application. Usually we use or create values using const use states. All right. Chalo. And it does not have to be a value. You can also have an object in here. Okay, you can also have an array. Fine. If you are using TypeScript, you will have to specifically specify over here the type of value. So in here you will say count, and then you can just say string and all right. For now we are using JavaScript, and please look inside how we use TypeScript along with React. It will be far more helpful to you as well. So this is just one hook. There are many which we'll be looking through in future. Okay, but for now let's just go ahead and look at one more, the use layout. Okay, sorry, not use layout. We'll be first working with use effect hook. Okay, so I just imported it, and this is the logic that goes inside it. Hello. So we will say use effect. Okay, and then with our use effect we will say console log this. uh, this will be logged after value is sorry, after DOM is counted. Okay, and yeah, we need to remove this. This is a dependency array, but hopefully I am able to differ. Yeah, you see it says that this will be logged after the DOM is mounted. Okay, so why do we use effect? I can just say console.log like this, and it will run it as well. Okay, well, what you want to do is, when we are using React, as I told you, we already have a DOM. So this is your DOM. All right. So if I try and console dot log this, okay, uh, this, you see we get our this object of the window. Okay, but React does not use this window. Instead what it does is it uses this as its DOM. So the root element over here is its DOM. Okay, yeah, we need to remove these buttons as well. Let's just keep them for uh, use right now. Chalo. And we should be able to work with this very much the same. But yeah, we were talking about the DOM. React, on the other hand, has its own DOM and likes to work with it. Okay. Now, the reason being that it is far more faster and efficient. That's why we use the use effect. So this function will run only and only once the entire script is loaded or the DOM is loaded. Okay, not always the entire script, especially if you are splitting up your app into many different parts of the this. Okay, so to demonstrate this better, I will try and do const something like use state only. Yeah, we can say console log. All right, and here we will say set count to 10. All right. So once we do this, yeah, you see it first logs 0 and then it dis 10. Even though if I do it something like this, it should, sorry, it should run it. Okay. So it says first 0. So it runs this, and then it uses the use layout effect. Now the worst part, bad part of React is performance. You see, no matter what I do, how many times I change this, if I, you see, do this, I'm just telling it to set count to plus 1 or minus 1. So the only thing that it should be doing is update the count and then render it over here. Instead, it is also logging it here. So the issue with this is the React, what it does is, if this is a component, it will update the entire component tree. So if there was one more component here, so there is a component, just imagine, over here, okay, it will also re-render this component. Let's just go ahead and create one. So yeah, let's just create, use our body only, okay, and hopefully we can say RAFCE, we then export. Yeah, we will say, instead of returning console log here, okay. So let's just try and import body first of all, save it, and yeah, then it says hello from body, and then you see it rendered it twice over here. No matter what you do, you see it always renders this. So you see, whatever happens over here, it always renders the entire stuff. So if there was something inside body as well, it would render it even though it is not required. So that is why we usually say use memo, okay. uh I don't think this is how it is supposed to work. Yeah, you see, we run our function in here, that is this function which will render out some stuff, and then the input. Chalo. So that is how you use your React, and the drawbacks and all. Apart from all that, if you, even if you still see our page source, we just have a div id of root, nothing more than that. And this is not what Google wants. It wants to see the content of your page. It won't run the JavaScript, it won't interact with it at all. It will only look inside over here and try and look for content. If there is none found over here, it will never ever look inside your this. So this is a huge SEO problem, unless you are Instagram or Facebook, like some very famous people who run this, okay, uh, whose websites are very famous. All right. So we have this depend, coming back to our use effect, we have this dependency part over here. Let's add in a count, okay, and now count becomes a dependency, okay. So whenever you try and update the count, do anything with the count, it will run whatever is inside the use effect to do a function. So if there is a function, okay, right now we have this. So let's just try it out. Let me save it, okay, and now it says 10 over here. If I subtract it, you see it goes to 9 and then it updates to 10. So whenever there is a change to count now, it will update the count value to 10. You can do anything else as well over here. You can just say console.log hello again. Chalo. So if I try and do this add and sub, you see we do get the hello again. Along with that, it is rendering the entire tree again and again. So yeah, it is working perfectly. So this is how your use effect works, uh, and all. So let's just do one more thing, and let's say document dot query selector. All right, and then we will say hello. So we need to also assign this. So const test. I don't hope. Yeah. Let's just try and say test now. Okay. Let's refresh this. Well, it is working now, but you see we are getting a null over here. Definitely we are supposed to give it. So we'll just say div hello, this is the test. We will just say class name, okay. So you don't say class over here, because class can be used like this as well, okay. So just to not confuse our JavaScript, we have to say class name, okay. So we'll give this the class name of hello and try and refresh this part. You see, we still get null. This is because we don't have the document over here. But if I put it inside our use effect now, yeah, you see it says test is not defined. So I guess we'll have to work with it like this. Yeah, you see now instead of getting null, we are getting this properly over here, and everything inside our use effect is being run only and only once our object is mounted. Fine. So these are the two hooks that you guys can look through and try and research it. Now this is not just the small functions of this. You can always use a callback function along with use state, like we were doing in our node.js. While we were rendering something, we were also using callbacks, and we can use the dot then and all, not the dot then and all. So callback functions, like inside our routes and all we were using, so that type of functions you can use with use effect. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the day. Tomorrow I will be styling the header, footer, and the body for you all, and I will be explaining the React folder structure for you guys as well, so that whenever you guys work with someone in React in future, you guys will be able to know that what is like how do you share the code from React and how the it should be structured, like the styles and all Redux, React, and all different kind of applications that are stored where and how you should be storing all them. Okay, chalo. So if you guys have any doubts, please ask me. Else, I guess we can drop the call. Oh yeah, I forgot about your projects. Uh, how like you guys did not tell me anything about that, so can I please know what is the status of your ideas, like if you guys have something in your brains, like what we can work on, what you guys are planning to work on, like that. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so why are you not responding anybody? Naman, is that you? With CD, yeah, ma'am did tell you. Okay, Naman, you are still this, so you are supposed to do the works and all. Okay, don't take it lightly. You also have to say what you want to make it.
So
Okay,
like
Lakhan, you can do that. Fine. So please start styling it. Once we get started with our backend and front end, na, we will create our cart and all for you. Okay. So whenever you add a pizza, the user will be able to add it in his cart. All right. Anyone else? Arsalan. All right. Thank you. Arsalan, Naman, Naveen,
sir,
Atik.
I'm to make a video streaming like website, like of Netflix or something like that.
Okay. So I guess you will have to start styling from now only. You see the backend logic and all that is a far more easier part when it comes to CSS. Okay, if you look at CSS, and then even though CSS is easy to learn, but when it comes to using CSS with frameworks like React and all, now you will realize that it is far more harder than just working with backend. Trust me on this. Okay, and yeah, anything else? So Lakhan is making a Pizza Hut. Naman is going to make a Netflix clone. All right. Arsalan, Naveen, and Atik. What about you all?
Sir, I will try working on my personal portfolio website only, sir.
Okay. So, what will be the unique stuff about it?
Unique stuff, nothing unique, sir. As far as
Well, I think inside
I just
your
want to do it for learning, sir.
okay. No, see, you will be using a database, right, and just barely connecting it with you, and I will be already showing that to you, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, try and do something by yourself. Add in something in there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Atik and Arsalan, आप दोनों क्या? Are you guys there in the meet? Okay, Atik is there. Arsalan, where are you? Atik, what are you planning to make then? Okay, please do decide and tell me. Okay, I will have to drop the call for now. All right. Chalo then. Bye. Have a nice day. So it's possible to make streaming site with a Zoom. Yeah, you can make a streaming site with a Zoom. And if you want to get this idea, na, there was an open source project I was working on. The name was Dodge House. It is by Ben Award. Okay. Let me just show it to you. In fact, it is a very vast project which had to be shut down. We were actually planning to like uh, let me just look for users. Yes, this guy. Okay, so this project, if you see, it is the same idea of instead of having a video chat, na, it had like stuff like um, live chatting, IP banning, and all star type of stuff. Now, these are just code words, but the one that you will be interested in is in shawarma, okay, and kebab. All right. So these are the backend for the this one. Okay. So this is the voice server, and then kebab is the API client. I guess you guys can. I don't think you will be able to work with Kibe now. It is a very powerful structure of React with this because it uses the server side rendering part of React. All right, and there are lots of configs and all that go in here. But I do ask you guys to look inside the three. Okay, so shawarma is the one, then kebab is there, and then kibe is also there. Okay, chalo. And yeah, there are many scripts and all. Now there were cron jobs and all as well. So this is just one. This repo. Instead of having a monolith, we have summed them down into and broken them down, all right, into microservices so that they are scalable easily and we don't have to scale them all at once. Chalo. So please do look into this. I am sharing the link with you guys, or you can just look at this guy's repo over here. He is a YouTuber as well. Okay, and uh, yeah, he has created many things like VS Inda was also successful one. He in fact sold it for around $10,000 or something, and it's just a joke. Trust me. If you guys can go to VS Code na, let me open up code. Yeah, yeah. You see, Ben Award has this VS Inda. Okay, and you can always install it, and just like your right and left swipe and all that. Okay, so yeah, this is sold now. I don't think somebody made a clone or something. Now this looks tabdoor. Thank God it's a tabdoor. I thought of something else. Okay, chalo then. We can drop the call. Okay, and yeah. Anything else? If you guys want to, you could ask me now. All right then. Bye. Have a nice day.